Hi boys! Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. I'm Navy Dad. This is Rusted Bolt's Garage, and today we go east. No, not to Mesquite. Way, way farther east. Okay, so it's taken a little while to get this video out. I have filmed it 6 times, and it's either gotten too long, or there's stuff going on in the background, and I mean by lawsuits and insurance investigations and that kind of thing. So I really didn't want to jump into it just yet. But now it's been almost a year. And fortunately, I think all the lawsuits are cleared up, and all the insurance payoffs have finally been settled. But yeah, we went to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia a year ago in 6 days, on November 20th. That's right. Wow, I can't believe that was a year ago. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started on this. And I'm going to try and keep it as short as I can, because there's a lot of information here. A lot of stuff I wanted to put in, but a lot of stuff I shouldn't put in. But we're gonna kind of mill through it, and then I'll edit it afterwards. How about that? But I do want to say that I never would have been able to go if it wasn't for my 2 friends, Brian and Dennis, and this guy Dennis. So I've got links below in the description where you can go out to Collins Brothers Jeep. You see all the complete line of Black Mountain merchandise and accessories for your Jeep. And really, if you are a Jeep person, there isn't anybody else to go to. Especially if you're going to restore an older Jeep, he's the guy. Let's face it, there isn't anybody else. So anyway, my big shout out to them, and I, again, could never have gone on something like this without them. So much appreciated. And we'll get to all of that stuff here shortly, and dive right in.
Hi boys! Well, here we are on leg 1 of our trip to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We have a 6-hour layover here in Washington, D.C., so we decided to come see something that everybody needs to see. And that is the fastest hot rod ever built by anybody ever. That's right, the SR-71.
2,100 miles per hour.
No, its speed is top secret still. It's faster than that. They can't tell us. Anyway, boys, keep watching. There's more to come.
Okay, so kind of a quick overview of how this whole thing started. Basically, it's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He wanted to, and he's working on opening the doors to his country. He's a millennial, and he knows that he needs to make big changes to the way his country operates if they want to go forward, because he knows that oil isn't always going to be around for them, and that's going to dwindle over the years, so he's making changes. Some quick interesting things about Saudi Arabia. 33% of the population of that country is under 30 years old. Yeah, Google it, check that out. Riyadh itself is about 7.5 or 7.6 million people. It is vast. It is so new. There is massive construction going on everywhere. There's shops going up. There's roads being built. There is actually a massive subway system that's being built. I think have so much traffic problems. Now, a lot of the stuff that you see, when you see all the supercars in that part of the world, that's actually not there. That is in Bahrain and Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and those areas are actually probably about 4 to 5 to 6 hour drive from Riyadh. Riyadh is a much more conservative area. In fact, out just driving around, and we did a lot of driving around in buses and Ubers and that kind of stuff. They're just normal cars. You don't see a lot of Ferraris and Lambos and things like that rolling around on daily driving in the streets going to work and that kind of stuff. In fact, it was Kias and Hyundais and tons and tons of Tahoes and Suburbans, and the last generation Ford Taurus. They're freaking everywhere. It was kind of weird. But here's something very strange. We didn't see any Hondas. Like, No Hondas. Every once in a while you see a really ancient Honda Accord, but as far as all these cars, I mean, here's a picture of us rolling into town. There are no freaking Hondas. That's weird. Okay, so my understanding of how this whole thing got started is Crown Prince is making changes. Obviously, women are driving there, and trust me, they text and drive just like they do here. I know, we all do that. That's being sexist. But yes, trust me, they all drive. They're able to own companies now and businesses. Not all of them wear I believe it's called the burqa. I may have that wrong, I apologize. But not all of them are wearing that. Some of them are showing their faces now, and even a few are wearing, business attire. So they're changing the way that that the world sees them also. I mean, they've got movies again. Oh my God, their freaking mall was crazy. Well, mall. There's like dozens of malls, huge, like the Galleria. They have Victoria's Secret, so to kind of have everything. And what was really interesting is all the information that we got from the government. What we needed to wear as far as clothing. We needed to wear very sedate and subdued clothing and not loud and bright colors. Really? Have you seen Richard? So, yeah, that was actually a bunch of crap. They're wearing loud and bright colors. So that was just a bunch of hooey. They wear t-shirts, they wear whatever clothes, obviously they wear their customary dress, and that is the majority of the upper echelon and the wealthy. They do wear the traditional dress. Really, because it's cool, and I don't mean cool as in cool. I mean it's cool for a hot environment. Now, when we were there, the highest temperature I think it got there was 72 degrees, and when that sun drops, holy crap! It just freaking plummets down into the 30s really fast. But it's so dry, you're drinking a ton of water all day long, and it's like you can't get enough water. But even it's cool outside, so it's a very interesting place. So again, I think how this all got started is that they've opened their doors to things from the outside. Like, they really don't have a bunch of old cars there. It's not like some of the other parts of the Middle East. Like, they just don't have that. So this was kind of the first opportunity to bring in old classic cars. Allow them to drive on the road, because previous to this, they couldn't drive them on the road. Sure, that collectors could bring them in, and there were a number of cars that a lot of the people that we talked to had some really cool cars. But they can't drive them on the road. They can have them in their personal collection, but they can't drive them on the road. So they are allowing that finally, and they're licensing it, and you can do that. So it was really expected that they would kind of go crazy and buy these cars. So there were about 900 Americans that came over, and there was around, I think it was about 475 cars that came over. And we're talking, obviously you've seen some of this, everybody, the who's who in the car world were there. I mean, these are not just crap cars. It's Chip Foose, Dave Kindig, some of the biggest car show winners ever. I mean, the last two winners of the Riddler Award were there. I mean, these are high-end cars that came over from the US. Not to mention the other cars that came from the UK, some big collections there. And I'm not kidding you when I tell you this. The amount of cars, and we'll get to the cars here, which is the most important part of this whole thing. We guesstimated there was this event, and the amount of cars that came in from all over the world was about $1 billion. That's a B, $1 billion worth of cars in this venue. It was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the amount of cars, it makes my the skin or the hair on the back of my neck rise because of the cars that were there. I mean, these are cars that you've read about, you've seen in magazines, you've read them in books, you've seen them on car TV shows, and to see them in person, I mean, to stand next to a Ferrari that's worth $30 million, it's just mind-boggling. Now, the auction company, and I'm not going to say their names, you can figure it out, or I'll put the links below. the auction company and the company that actually put on the entire show, I think were at fault because they kind of blew up everybody's expectations that the Saudis were there and they were going to pay a shit ton of money, so mark your cars up. Well, the Saudis aren't stupid. They have the internet. And I'm telling you, when I say they have the internet, they have everything on the internet. Think about that for a second. So, you know what these cars are valued at. Plus that, they bought the cars before. They've been to Barrett-Jackson. They bought cars online and had them shipped in. So they're not stupid. But in addition to that, and I think this is where the Saudis made a big mistake, is they put a $30,000 premium on every car to be able to license it. First day later, toward the end of this thing, dropped it to $5,000. But I think that was a major mistake on their part to do that. So it just made the cars much more expensive than they could just go to auction and even pay to have them shipped in for less money. And I think that was a big mistake, and it really kind of duped everybody. So another issue with this is, and still to this day, I'm kind of blown away by this miss. So when we get there, you have the cars grouped in multiple tents, and I'll kind of go over the venue because this place is just massive. In fact, for 3 days, we didn't know the Monster Truck Madness guys were there. That's how big it was. We couldn't hear them. We met them at a Dunkin' Donuts in downtown Riyadh. Yeah, they got Dunkin' Donuts. So anyway, it's the information they put on the cars. So you had the group of cars that were in the auction. Here, then you had a group of cars that were in the salon for sale. The information that both the auction company and Bonnier, oh, I said it, didn't I? The company that put on the venue, all the information they put on the cars, their sale price, how much they were expected to bring at auction, was in English. English. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you at least put a second piece of paper in Arabic? Not everybody speaks English or reads English over there. A lot of them do speak it pretty well. We had no problems conversing with the Saudis while we were over there. But it was just, I mean, I kept, as the week went on, I kept expecting, well, they're going to put it out there before the auction starts. No. Stupid. Okay, and then the cars. All right, getting the cars there. So they had to be in port, and actually I think their import had to be there by September 1st. Or so, I don't remember the exact dates, but they said it was going to take 6 weeks to get the cars there on site. So my question is, why did it take 5 and in some cases 6 months for some of these guys to get their cars back? And this is what happened to my friends. It took 5 months for my friend Brian to get all of his cars back. In fact, he was literally down to the last car, his 69 JL8 Cross Ram, Jerry McNeish certified 69 Z28. Triple black, striped delete, pretty cool car. Anyway, he was like 4 days away from reporting it stolen. It took over 5 months to get it back. And yes, there was a lot of cars damaged on the way there. There were a lot of cars damaged on the way back. In fact, on the way there, one of our friends, he had 2 cars in a container that they strapped down with motorcycle straps. I'm not going to show you any pictures of that because that's their story to tell. But a vehicle came loose inside with another vehicle, and when they opened up the shipping container, the very large heavy vehicle was on top of the very small fiberglass vehicle, which totally destroyed it. And this is a $250,000 car, and it's not repairable. So it's stuff like that happened for a number of people. And you know, even my friend Brian, they stole the Z28 emblems off the front fenders and with a screwdriver. Now fortunately it was underneath enough, they actually took care doing this, and he was able to polish it out, and there's no real damage. In fact, these are his 4 cars. 1970 LS6 Chevelle, fully documented, McNeish certified, 29,000 mile car. A 70 Hemi Cuda, which is actually one of the earliest cars in Galen Govier's registry. This car has not been in auction football, so you probably won't find much about it. He's had that for a long time. And then a 68 GT500 in, of course, Highland Green. And then we also have our the 69 Z28. Again, that is a JL8 Cross Ram, triple black, stripe delete, deluxe interior, console delete, Z28 Rally Sport. So yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. In fact, I think Mr. McNeish, when he walked in and he saw that, he was like, oh. So it was pretty cool. So anyway, back to the show. So when we got there, the venue is just absolutely massive. Here it is on the map.
This place is absolutely massive. This is a festival center, is basically what it is. Now, where the global auction and auto salon was, is it took up this area here. And I'll tell you what, this is so big, so that basically is where the Formula One cars were racing. The tents were set up all throughout here. The Ferrari brought in an entire display and brought in the entire Ferrari team. Everybody was there. Tents were set up all throughout this area here, and then there were more tents over here. So, and then there was a separate auction tent right about here. And you'll see pictures of those shortly. And of course, the big VIP area was right here where I don't know, must have been close to $200 million worth of Ferraris in there.
Now, if you look at that map, that section of concrete that's right there, that's a half a mile long. That is just incredible. That's where they had all of this.
راح يستبدعون راح يجمعون المحل بالاضافه الى
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And we just took up a small section of that. It goes on, I don't know how many square miles. This thing is just massive. But so the auction started and nothing sold. Not a single car. Here's a little bit of footage from the auction.
So thank you very much for opening your arms and letting us come out here.
Yeah.
I know that there's
a big hand.
When it was first approached to us to come out here, I was very excited about it because I've met a lot of people from Saudi Arabia back in the United States, whether it was at SEMA or they're in my hometown in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Good friend, Chip Foose. Chip, we'll let you take it away.
Well, thank you. It's really a pleasure to be here, and it's an honor being, a part of this inaugural event. And I'm excited to be here. And the people have been fantastic. But if I'm going to tell you about the P32 Street Fighter, as I call it.
So anyway, and then nothing sold. So there was one sale. This thing. It's so big they couldn't bring it over because there's not shipping containers that it could fit in. So it was still in Florida. So I don't know, but that's pretty much the only thing that sold. So anyway, let's get on to some of the fun things that we did while we were there. Now, if you follow along on my Instagram, we started a couple of years ago. It was started out as a joke, mimicking cheesy used car salesman and Earl Scheib. So it's my way kind of to do a shout out to my boys, see what their stupid dad's doing when they were somewhere across the world. So it started out as doing just goofy stuff. And so we've continued to do that. We did a couple in Riyadh. So here's the first one.
Hi boys, here we are, Cars and Coffee in Riyadh. Check it out, man. We got Jeeps for miles. Isn't that awesome? Man, and of course, where else are you going to find an off-road Mustang? Ever popular 57 Chevy Rat Rods, complete with LED headlights. And check this out. A GMC Sierra 3500, long bed, step side. Where are you going to see that? You don't even see these in the U.S. anymore. That's right, a real 429 Super Cobra jet right here in Riyadh. This looks like Carson Coffee in Plano. Corvettes for miles. There's Mustangs for miles too.
Yeah. Well, what can you say? Okay, and then here's our there were so many Bugattis there. It was like, oh, another Bugatti. It was like seeing a Tesla. They're like everywhere. So we did this.
I'm with my top salesman, Mr. Keith Perry. Tell them what we got today, Keith.
Well, we got a Bugatti here today, and this one is cheap. This one is only $49,999.99.
Crazy.
22% down payment. And we got us another. We have a Bugatti over here.
What a variety of cars we've got,
That
Keith.
is right. That's all. We have tons and tons of cars, all different makes and models. And as long as you like a Bugatti, we have one here too. And of course, this one here is in chrome. Just what we like.
What kind of car is that,
That's a
Keith?
Bugatti.
Wow.
We have even more cars to show you today. We have a Bugatti.
Another Bugatti. Tell us how we can buy these cars.
Well, you just got yourself a short drive right here to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and come down and see us at HPH Motors. That's right, we're stacking them deep and selling them cheap.
I know, kind of crazy. So anyway, so now I'm going to kind of put a montage together of some of the cars, some of the photographs that we saw when we were there. Like I said, there's this blue Lusso. Oh, I mean, look, I'm just, that car is, it's a piece of art with tires. It is so absolutely beautiful, handmade. Every piece of metal on that was fabricated by hand. You can't take the fender off of one Lusso and put it on another one. You got to make another fender for it. So it's that kind of stuff that's just, the art is just fantastic. So here we go. So yeah, I mean, it was something else. We had a blast. I don't know, would we do it again? Probably not. And then of course all the car personalities there. So it was kind of a unique situation because only about 900 Americans there, and most of them were car owners or vendors. So you didn't have this big population of people that actually really knew who all these folks were and mob them all the time. And it was made for kind of a cool, you just hang out and chat and talk. And I didn't want to do the fanboy thing. I always freak out about doing that, taking a picture with people, because I made a fool of myself with Christy Lee at Barrett Jackson 2017. That was kind of stupid. All my drink cards were gone, we'll just say that. So I don't like to do that, but I did have to get my picture taken with one of my idols, and that's Chip Foose. And he is as nice a guy that you could ever meet. He's exactly like you see on TV. In fact, we just sat there and chit-chatted because it was kind of a no-pressure situation. We sat there and we probably talked to him for 45 minutes, and he started telling us about a new project that he's got coming up, which he has not put any information out yet, so I'm not going to out it, but it's really going to be cool. It's very different from some of the things that he's done in the past, and I can hardly wait to see it. I think it's going to be really neat. And we sat there and jaw-jacked with Kindig and Kev Dog, and Dave Kindig was telling us about renovations he's doing in his house and his new garage that he's building, which is like freaking awesome. I hope he shows it on his show sometime, because I want to actually see. He showed us pictures of kind of the pre-build and everything. It's like, it's going to be something else. And Kev Dog was telling us about that crazy Lincoln and what they had to do to actually make that engine work, and it was pretty cool. And just stuff like that. But dang it, man, I kept missing out on meeting Freiberger. And something else I wanted to say is about about Riyadh and the Saudis themselves. Everything we heard is like, they're going to be following you around. We never felt concerned at all anywhere we were. And we went all over the place. I mean, we ended up in Chop Chop Square. Google it. Yeah, by accident. Not on a Friday, thank goodness. So, but we never ever felt concerned for our well-being or anything. Everybody was absolutely so nice everywhere we went. And no, there weren't black sedans following us, because we were all over the place. We walked here, we walked that. There wasn't anybody following us. Like people kept saying, oh, there are going to be people following. There wasn't. And they could have been nicer. And a lot of things that you hear about the way that they treat people and treat themselves and stuff, I really didn't see any of that. I mean, we saw families together at this venue treating each other as family members, just like any place else you would go. So that part was just made me feel really good, because I had preconceived ideas because of our stupid government and our stupid fake media about fake news about what it was and what it was like there, and didn't see any of that. They're just people, and they're working, and they're taking care of their families just like anywhere else. So maybe they speak a different language, maybe they have a different religion than we do, but you know what? We're all just people. Color of your skin shouldn't matter. Your religion shouldn't matter. Your sexual orientation shouldn't matter. None of that matters. We're all freaking pink on the inside. We all believe red. Well, except for that girl that one time who was green at that bachelor party. But anyway, treat everybody as you would treat your own family, because it just doesn't make sense. This world is getting smaller and smaller every day. We all got to play together. Why not? Okay? So, and also you may have seen this bracelet that I'm wearing. In lieu of the fact that this week was Veterans Day, and of course the birthday of the United States Marine Corps. This bracelet is a pretty special thing. The proceeds to these bracelets help provide veterans with service dogs. So I put the link down below and urge you to go out and get one. And no, I'm no way affiliated or sponsored or anything. Not even him. I don't have sponsors. I don't even do the advertising thing yet, although I probably should because that would pay for some parts. So anyway, go ahead and do that. And if you know a veteran, you know, tell them that you appreciate their service and actually do something about it, like ordering one of these bracelets. So, I think that about wraps it up. Yeah, this is 15 minutes after we got out of customs at JFK in New York. Yeah, that's not Coke. We were there for a week and there's no beer or anything else. In fact, tonight is an interesting night because I'm out of beer. I'm out of my Chateau Saint Michel Merlot. And the only thing I could find was my wife's rosé. And she's out of town, so anyway, it's a late night and I'm trying to get this sucker done. So boys, you be safe. Y'all take care out there. Be safe, wear your mask, do all that sort of thing. We'll be back soon with it's right here next to the camera, you just can't see it. The new project car. In fact, hopefully next week I will introduce it. But I'm trying to get some information because the gentleman that I bought this car from is probably one of the most famous Chevrolet engineers you've never heard of. And there's something in common with this car and Camaro serial number 1. You just have to wait and see. Okay, I'm out. I'm gonna go drink my rosé now.